I'm going to test drive what I think is the most beautiful camera ever made. A camera has to be good at taking pictures, of course it does, but there is something special about a camera that simply looks beautiful. One that inspires you. The kind of camera that you hang around your neck and know that before you take even the first image, somebody will have stopped you in the street and asked to look at your camera. Design, function and history. During the Second World War, the top German fighter pilot, Adolf Galland, was asked what he required in order to break down the British resistance. "I should like," he said, "an outfit of Spitfires. See an E-Type Jaguar parked in any street in the country and I guarantee you'll see people staring. Because it's admired, it's desirable, it's always fashionable, and above all, because it's beautiful." There are literally thousands of classic designs still living in our 21st century, and one of those is the Barnack Leica. Barnack's a catch-all name given to the early Leicas that came before the M mount series. The lens is attached to the body with the screw thread. Sometimes they're called LTM cameras, and that stands for Leica thread mount, or L39 lenses, so called because the thread is 39mm. And these Barnacks are iconic. They were the birth of modern 35mm photography. So why are they called Barnacks? Well, Oskar Barnack invented them, and he made the first Leica 35mm camera, a Leica UR, at the Ernst Lights factory in Germany, and took the first 35mm photo with it in 1913. It was a photo of the local marketplace, the Eisenmarkt Wesla in Germany. And today there's a plaque on the floor there, so you can actually go there on a photographic pilgrimage. You can stand on the plaque and you can take the same image of the black and white building you see in front of you that Oskar Barnack did over 100 years ago. I'll be using this Leica IIf from 1959. I believe my son's coming out on the shoot with me, and he owns a Leica IIIc from 1947. The first thing you'll notice is the weight. For such a small camera body, these Leicas pack a real punch in the weight department. But you have to remember that Oskar Barnack designed these as pocket cameras when huge plate cameras were the norm. These were tiny compared to what people were used to at the time. Had he really thought about how much of a pocket camera this would be? Because he designed the lens to push back into the body when it was not in use. Nobody would have seen a camera this slim ever before. One thing to note is when you see a Barnack for sale, you might look at the shutter speed dial and think, "Ooh, only goes down to a 20th of a second, that's not slow enough for me." Well, they've actually got a separate dial for high shutter speeds and low shutter speeds. If you want to go slower, you simply jump onto the slower speed dial. One idiosyncrasy is that the shutter speed dial rotates as you wind the film on, and so the film has to be wound on first and be ready to take a picture before you can set the shutter speed. Otherwise you'll think you've got the right speed set and it'll be completely the wrong one. And that reminds me, talking of the film being ready, loading a Barnack Leica is quite unlike loading any other camera I've ever had. The base plate is removable and the cassette goes in here, and the film leader is attached on the other side to a loading spool. But be warned, it's not that simple. As the film is dropped into the slot running across the back of the camera and it's pushed down, its leading edge can easily catch the cloth shutter inside. To prevent this from happening, we're going to have to cut an extra long leader in the film, 4 inches or so in fact, so that the film falls short of the shutter cloth when you press it down. Just to remind you, Leica have put an easy to understand diagram on the bottom. If you'd like to see a film about how to load a Barnack Leica, then my son and I have done a video of us doing just that. I'll put the link on the screen right now. The shutter counter moves on after every frame is taken, but it doesn't auto back to 0 when the film back is removed like modern cameras. So remember, when you do load a film, you must reset the frame counter to 0. There are no built-in light meters, so it's either experience, guesswork, or modern kit required. A light meter. You can continue in the retro vein with an old Western meter, but I've cheated and just put an amp on my phone. Although, I have to admit, I use guesswork mostly, unless it's very complicated lighting. All Barnacks except the very early 1 series have rangefinders for focusing, and this works by having a dedicated rangefinder window next to the viewfinder. You look through the rangefinder magnified window and you'll see 2 images, and you simply turn the focusing ring, align the 2 images so that they appear as one, and you're focused. It's as simple as that. So let's venture out into the snow and take a few images and see how we get on. And as soon as that's done, I'll make part 2 of this video where I'll tell you exactly what I think it was like shooting with this classic old camera, and I'll share some of the images as well on that film so you can have a look. Once that film's done, I'll put a link to it on the screen right now up here. You can jump straight to it and have a look at the results. As always, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed and you feel you've gotten any value from the video, please consider subscribing. It helps grow the channel and it helps me make more photography videos. Oh, and if you have got a little time to spare, a like or maybe a comment, that will be fantastic too. In the meantime, enjoy your photography, grab your camera and stay focused.